Sagar, Abdul Razak, everyone. Very good morning. Hope all of you are doing very fine, staying safe and healthy. So, on Saturday, we'll start with our lecture
बस
carbon compound, that is for standard 9th, Science 1, chapter number 13. And we have also studied we have started with the crystalline form of carbon. And I hope you may have understood it, and you also answered some question answers which we have taken at the end of the lecture, and I got a good response from you all. Today also I hope the same. You will pay attention very nicely and try to understand whatever I'm teaching today. So we have started with the chapter carbon and important compound. We have finished with this. Only the first topic, that is the crystalline compound. The first one was which one? This diamond. The crystalline form. There are three forms of carbon, crystalline carbon, that are the diamond. Then second, which we will be learning today, is graphite, and later on fullerene. Also, we'll have audiovisual session also today. So let's start with the lecture. I'll start sharing my screen. So myself, Patan Arifa Khatun from Worli Seaface English Municipal Secondary School. And all you know, okay, we are starting today Science and Technology Part 1, Standard 9. Okay. So now let's move to our main topic, that is the carbon, an important element, name of the chapter. And in the crystalline forms, we have studied diamond. But today we are finished with diamond, its structure, its occurrence, its uses, and same thing we'll learn about graphite and later on fullerene. Let's start with graphite only. Okay, graphite. And I hope all of you are carrying your textbooks with you so that you can understand well. The screen might not be big for everyone, or you cannot see it very clearly. So it would be much better. You should have your textbooks with you all so that you can see whatever the words I am telling you. Now, graphite. Graphite is found in the natural state, original form in Russia, New Zealand, America, and India. The lead used in pencil lead we have, you know pencil very much, and the grayish color lead which we use for writing is made by mixing graphite and clay. It is made by mixing graphite and clay. This process was discovered by Nicholas Jacques Conti in the year 1795. The process of mixing graphite with clay to form lead, your pencil lead. So this was discovered by Sir Nicholas Jacques Conti in the year 1795. See, graphite look like this. Your textbook to have some of its uh, photos or pics. Graphite look like this, isn't it? Very shiny like. And when you see this pics of graphite, you can imagine of this your pencil lead also. It is also the same grayish color, but it is somewhat dark. So this is graphite look alike. Then structure of graphite. In the same way as we have seen about a diamond, like its occurrence also, and next part was the structure. So same in the case of graphite also. Now the structure of graphite is like this. In the textbook on page number 140, it is given graphite and its structure. The arrangement of carbon atoms. The black dots which you can see there are the carbon atoms. They are the carbon atom. Now, every carbon atom in graphite is bonded to three other carbon atoms in such a way that a hexagonal layered structure is formed. Yes, you can see a hexagon there. Hexagon means what? A figure which is six-sided. Hexa means six. Geometrical word. Hexagonal layer structure is formed, and due to the arrangement of the carbon atoms, or we can say the carbon atoms are arranged in such a way that the structure of uh, the graphite looks like a hexagonal uh, figure. A graphite crystal is made up of many sheets of layers of carbon atoms. Many sheets of, not only single is not possible, many layer one above the other. One above the other. Many layers of carbon atoms are there in a graphite crystal. These layers slip over each other. They slip over. Slippery. They are slippery. And when you feel graphite, it is like soft only and slippery. These layers slip over each other on applying pressure. When you apply a little pressure on the graphite, it may slip from your hand. One layer of graphite is called graphene. Important one, can be asked for your fill in the blanks or in a evaluation part. One layer of graphite, the last sentence in this paragraph. One layer of graphite is called graphene. Many layers are called as graphite. Single layer is called as graphene. Done with this? We'll move on to the next one. What will be the next one then? The properties of graphite. Properties of graphite. The first property of graphite is graphite, which is found in nature, is black. The original form, soft, brittle, and slippery. Brittle means, you know, brittle, glass is also brittle. Brittle means whatever that falls on the ground, it breaks. So graphite is also like that. It is also soft. It is also slippery. It is slippery, brittle, and soft. Inside, second point, second property, inside each layer of graphite. Inside each layer of graphite, free electrons move continuously. Free electrons move continuously within the entire layer, within the entire single layer or all the layers. That is why graphite is a good conductor of electricity. We all know it, the elements which have the substances which have free electrons. The substances which have free electrons, they conduct electricity. We have discussed earlier about diamond. Okay, diamond is the hardest substance. Diamond is the hardest substance found in nature. Found in nature. And therefore, it does not have free electrons, and that is why it does not conduct electricity. It is about diamond. But what about graphite? Graphite is soft, slippery, brittle also. And inside each layer of graphite, there are free electrons. There are free electrons which move within the layers, which move within the layers. And that is why graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Third property, due to layered structure, graphite can be used for writing on paper. Yes, we cannot use a lump of graphite to write on a paper. We have to take one layer and mix it with clay, and then only that particular thing can be used for writing on a paper. So the layered structure of graphite are useful for writing purpose on paper or something else. The density of graphite is 1.9 to 2.3 gram per centimeter cube. The density of graphite, the thickness of graphite per centimeter. Per centimeter we are talking about. It is 1.9 to 2.3 gram per centimeter cube. Graphite does not dissolve in most solvents. Graphite also, diamond तो होता ही नहीं है. Diamond is not, the diamond does not dissolve. So same case with our graphite also. Okay, graphite also does not dissolve in most of the solvents. Diamond does not dissolve any solvent, but graphite dissolve in some of the solvents, some very rare. So graphite does not dissolve in most solvents. In most of the solvents, graphite does not dissolve. If there is something like the solvent are concentrated or they are something intense, at such time you can say that graphite dissolve in those particular solvents. Okay, done with this. Next, the uses of graphite. Uses of graphite. Let us see what are the uses of graphite. The first one is very easy. The graphite is used in pencils for writing. The lead which we use, which we know from the very beginning of our school life. The things which we know in our school life was first it was a chalk and something else, but later on from first time we are using pencils and we are very aware of pencils. Yeah, no. So the easiest point to remember for writing uses of graphite is that graphite is used in pencils for writing. Graphite is used in pencils for writing. Very easy one. Easily you can get 1 mark for that. Graphite is used in paints and polishes also. In paints, while preparing some paints and as well as polish. Another one then, graphite is used for making lubricants. Graphite is used for making lubricants. What are lubricants? Now, for your understanding, let us say a grease-like substance. A grease-like substance which is used to work the machines smoother. To work the machines smoother, lubricants are used. So lubricants are nothing but, you can say oil also, or you can say they are the grease also. Graphite is used in arc lamps, which gives a very bright light. For example, say your LEDs also. Maybe LEDs graphite is used because LEDs they give very bright light. Some of the LEDs bulbs they give very bright light. So graphite is used in that lamps also, which gives very bright light. All these points are written in your textbook. You can study itself from there. No need for digest and all. If you ask for uses and properties of diamond graphite, you can easily learn from your textbook, and the textbook knowledge is very deep. It is very deep. Though you write only one sentence, or sometimes some sentences are framed in such a way, if you write the single one, you get the full marks. So you can do this from the textbook only. Last one, graphite is used for making carbon electrodes. Graphite is used for making carbon electrodes. Now the word electrodes, I would like to remind you about our chapter that was chapter number 5, acid, bases and salts. And in that chapter, the last topics which we have learned that were electrolysis and like that. So in that electrolysis process, electrodes were used. Electrodes. They are nothing but carbon. They are nothing but rods. Electrode. The word itself indicates electrodes. ROD is there. Rod. That means a rod. You can understand what is a rod. So electrodes. Carbon electrodes. Graphite is also used for making carbon electrodes. And these electrodes, they are dipped into the solution and certain experiments are performed, or electrolysis is also performed in that. Okay, done with this then, uses of graphite. The next one is the fullerene. Next one is the fullerene. The another crystalline form of carbon is fullerene. Another form of carbon is fullerene. The first one was diamond, the second one was graphite, and the last crystalline form of carbon is fullerene. Let us see how fullerene looks alike. It looks alike. Now the blue balls that are nothing but carbon atoms, and they are again joined in, they are connected to each other, they are bonded to each other in a hexagonal form only. Okay, let us see about the fullerene. Fullerene is an, it is rarely found in nature. 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 It is found in soot and interstellar spaces. Interstellar spaces means, first let us see about soot. What is soot? Soot is nothing but a black powder. Whenever uh, we burn anything, whenever the wood is burned, or even our LPG cylinders also, LPG cylinder or whatever the things we use for burning. So smoke is produced, and when the smoke is gathered somewhere, a black powder is formed. A black powder is formed. That is nothing but a soot. That is nothing but soot only. SOOT soot. And fullerene is also found in interstellar space. Interstellar space means what? The gap between the two stars. That is interstellar space. The first example of fullerene is Buckminster fullerene. Buckminster fullerene. The name is quite difficult, no? Yeah, it is difficult. But nothing is difficult if you want to do it. So learn the spelling and uh, install it in your mind, because you understand the words better today. Install, delete, है because we are living in a mobile world nowadays. So installing, deleting, and again backupping, these words are very new or very handy for you. So Buckminster, B-U-C-K, Buck, M-I-N-S-T-E-R, and fullerene is there to help you to join with Buckminster. So the first example is C60, Buckminster fullerene C60. It is named after the architect Richard Buckminster Fuller. Richard Buckminster Fuller, because the structure resembles a dome which he designed. Yeah, why it is named Buckminster Fullerene? It is named Buckminster Fullerene. There was an architect, an engineer, an architect, and his name was Richard Buckminster Fuller. He has uh, designed a dome. He has designed a dome which looks, because the structure of fullerene, it resembles means matlab match hona. It was looking alike to the dome. Now, if you remember, a dome means एक गुम्बद जिसको हिंदी में बोलते हैं गुम्बद, like the Gol Gumbaz of Bijapur. It is very round structure. It is round structure. So that is why the fullerene name is given as Buckminster fullerene. It is due to the architect Richard Buckminster Fuller. Later on, Harold Kroto, Robert Kurl, and Richard Smalley were awarded Nobel Prize in 1996 for the discovery of fullerene C60. This C60 fullerene, which you can see on the screen, is been discovered as C60 fullerene by the scientists Harold Kroto, Robert Kurl, and Richard Smalley. And for this great work, they were awarded with Nobel Prize, the topmost prize, the biggest award in the field of you can say in the field of knowledge, for discovery, in the field of discovery. So they were awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1996 to all these respected fellows for the discovery of fullerene C60. Okay, C60, C70, C76, and C82 and C86 are other example of fullerene. Their molecules occur in small numbers in soot, that black powder. The molecules of C60, C70, C76, C82, and C86 are other examples of fullerene, and their molecules occur in a very small number in that soot, in that black powder of this. Okay. Now the uses or the properties of fullerene. Molecules of fullerene are found in the form of buckyballs and buckytubes. We'll see in the video this one. But it is formed in the form of ball-like structure or bucket tubes. There are about 300 to 900 carbon atoms in one molecule of fullerene. Simple, 330 to 900 carbon atoms in one molecule of fullerene. Fullerene are soluble in organic solvents such as carbon disulfide and chlorobenzene. It is soluble. Fullerene is soluble. Our last one, graphite and diamond, they are little soluble, but fullerene is soluble in some organic compounds or the organic solvents such as carbon disulfide and chlorobenzene. Now the uses of fullerene. Fullerene are used as insulators. Yes, we know about insulators. The insulators means the covering which is used on your copper wire, electrical wires, insulators. Some other. Fullerenes are used as catalyst in purification. In the process of purification, there is some chemical reaction. Fullerenes are used as catalyst. Catalyst means it is an agent which does not change the rate of reaction. It keeps the rate of reaction constant, and that is catalyst. And fullerene act as a catalyst in the process of water purification. At certain temperature, fullerene exhibits superconductivity. At certain temperature, maybe it is high temperature, fullerene exhibits superconductivity, means it possesses a very good conductivity. It conducts electricity like this. Okay. Then comes the evaluation part. Before evaluation part, we'll do one thing. What we'll do, we'll go back. We'll go back to now here. I'm here again. I'm here again. Hello. Okay. Kids, I hope you all are there. So now we have seen the graphite structure properties and all. Now I will share you one video regarding this two topics only. So it would, okay, if you it would be better if you go through it. Can you hear the video? Kids, can you hear the video? Almost, madam?
No, it's not audible.
Okay, just a minute. Give me a 1 second, please.